Alright, we're gonna attempt to harvest some honey. 2 end frames I checked, capped on both sides. Oh, we got honey a-dripping. Look at that. I don't know if y'all can see it. It's starting to flow. Woo! So I only turned it going about 1/3 of the way. It's flowing nicely. That's so cool. Camera. It's flowing nice. It was all capped, so if it wasn't ready, I wouldn't take it. I checked all these frames probably like a half hour ago. It's flowing nicely. They say that sometimes when you do your first harvest, you get a little backflow. But right now, everything seems to be good. Anything that doesn't get in the jar, the bees will clean right up. That's flowing nice. Might get a little wax in there, some air bubbles. That's some nice clean looking honey. It's been like 3 minutes and that quart jar is already half full. We got honey. Quart's usually $20. Well, with these jars, buddy, either give them back to me or because they're 45 years old. So just use up the honey and then give it back to me. This quart jar is already halfway full and it's only been 3 minutes. That's some nice looking honey. You know, the bees can travel up to 3 miles. I know the Mennonites around here don't use any chemicals. But there is an apple orchard a quarter mile down the road, so you never know. That's pretty neat. You can literally watch it just drain right out. The other frames are deceiving. The ends look full, but they're not capped. If they're not capped properly, there's too much water in it. Once you crack these, you can't close them back up. You can once you're done.
Why can't you close it back up?
Well, I mean, you can. I'm only halfway in, so the rest of those cells aren't cracked. Look at that. That is some nice light colored honey. Really light color to it. It's draining out nicely. The bees are already working those frames already. Be careful with that bracket. That's nice. Fill this jar right up. Look at that. Yeah. Some nice golden honey. So right now it's one whole quart. They say that each frame holds a half a gallon. I'm pretty sure there's 4 quarts in a gallon. So far there's no bees back here messing with me. Caps are popping right off. This one's trying to leak out on me. I got 2 of these keys. There's the honey coming dripping. There she comes. 2 frames going at the same time. Have to get some more jars, I think. This is pretty cool. Ladies hard at work. The second jar is almost full. I'll have to run and grab some more jars here in a second. Maybe I'll go do that now. Had to run and grab some more jars. Alright, now I'm gonna crack this the rest of the way. Well, that's about what they said. You get roughly a half gallon from each frame. And then what you do when you're done harvesting is where that long key is. You go up to the top and then you reset the frame so they'll clean and wax the cells out and then start filling it back up with honey. That's 2 quarts. 2 quarts so far. Just out of that one. This one looks like it's starting to slow down. Two 2 quarts each. Each frame holds a half a gallon. That's 2 quarts. There's 4 quarts in a gallon. Melissa, you can come back here. They're not messing with me. You just gotta be careful going by the front. Just move real slow past here. It's alright. You're wearing out black. Bees have evolved to attack anything that's dark. Yeah. Because of bears and raccoons, possums, even possums go after it.
So you're trying to get me to come back this
Well, you'd be fine. You just don't make quick movements. There hasn't been a single bee that's come back here. So I don't want to mess with these other frames because they weren't capped with honey. That means that the water content, once they cap it, they know that it's 18% or less. Any more than that, then the honey can ferment and it'll turn into alcohol. Then once these are done draining, I just take this key out and then reset the cells, because the way that they work is when it's open like this, it splits it. There's like individual cells. And then when you close it, there's a little gap, and then the bees fill that with wax, so it's a hexagon shape. And they'll start filling it with honey.
looking for water in their little sled here.
Look at that. Some lovely honey. I gotta switch out these jars right here. That one's nice and full. This is pure unfiltered honey. There may be little bits of wax in there, but it's not going to harm you. And then if you get any stuff that accidentally leaks out, the bees will clean it right up. Adjust my tripod here so it's easier for me to see. So far, so good. This is my other hive. It's got the hybrid on it, which allows them to build comb and fill these frames right here. And I got a third hive over there, which has 6 of those plastic frames. This one has 7. This one has 4. So I will open this one up some more. It all depends on how warm out it is. Oh, that one's got a little ant or something floating in it. I'll have to get that out. That'll have to be my jar. So we'll just let that keep draining. This one here is pretty much done. This one here's got a little ways to go yet. I've already gotten one jar off of this one on the right. Like I said, they say that each frame holds about a half a gallon. And I think a gallon of honey weighs 12 pounds. A gallon of water weighs 8. This one over here is pretty much done. Isn't that cool?
Jar on the other side that I can't see, is it almost filled up already?
Over here?
Yeah.
I've already changed it out. I'm going on about 2.5 jars on this frame, 2 1/4. But like I said, the manufacturer says that each frame holds a half a gallon. Just 4 quarts in a gallon. So you're going to get about 2 quarts. But if you were to do like a traditional hive with the frames that you got to scrape the cap off and then you spin it out, I mean, you got more smaller frames. I don't know if they hold a half a gallon each. It's just that beekeeping's the same. It's just how you harvest it. Because a regular hive, you still got to check them every, once in a while to make sure there's no disease and pests. And then you got to check for if they build a queen cell on a certain spot on the frame. Like if they build it on the bottom of a frame, that means they're getting ready to swarm. If they build it like in the center, it's called a supersedure cell, which means that they're just replacing the queen.
I remember you telling us that.
And sometimes they do little practice queen cups where they don't put anything in it. They're just always ready, just in case. The worker bees can make a queen cell from an egg. So if they don't detect the pheromone from the queen, they'll do what's called an emergency cell. And then they'll start building the cell right away, and within 16 days, a queen will hatch. And then she has to go on a mating flight after like 2 or 3 days of letting her shell get hard, because she's really soft when she's born. And then she'll go out on a mating flight and mate with drones, which are the male bee that aren't related to her. And then she'll come back as long as she makes it back. I mean, they get eaten by a bird or hit by a Mack truck or whatever. As long as they make it back, she's loaded with eggs and sperm from the drones, and then she'll start laying eggs like immediately. And then until the worker bees decide they want to swarm or replace her, she can't fly off because she's so heavy with eggs. I know, I picked one and Wyatt, I think, ate it. Geez, I've seen pictures of blueberry bushes that were like huge, just laden with blueberries. I'm like, man, I want to figure out what kind those are. Because there's different types of blueberry plants. Mother bought those ones. So that's about right. You'll get about 4 quarts, 4.5 quarts. The bees are busy working, so they're not paying attention to me. It was a little bit different when I took the top off and was messing with the frames. They weren't too happy with me. Alright, so I am going to close this top one up, reset those. What's kind of neat about these, you have this little end cap. Well, if you don't close those cells up properly, you can't put the end cap in. There goes the end cap. Boom, full. This one's down to pretty much nothing. Any honey that runs out, bees will clean up. Let me find my little other end caps here. Put these in. Boom. Boom.
You didn't have Donald edit my F-bombs out of the video.
No. Oh, that's so good. I put these on YouTube. First frame's done. I got like 2 1/4 mason jars out of there. 3 full quarts over here. This quart's almost full. And I'll just slide this other jar over. I still got a little bit to crack open here on this one. The last little bit of it. This one got a little bee in there. Maybe I'll get it out. Oh, we got a bee trying to get my honey. I guess I should say their honey. There you go, Mr. Bee. That's a native bee. Sweat bee, probably. That one's finishing up. Even with those blue jars, that honey still got a nice golden amber color to it. That's a nice light colored honey. Ooh. There we go. There's my first harvest. Took about 31 minutes to get 4.5 quarts, just shy of.